pew pew, pew pew pew, pew pew pew, pew. Hey guys, Work here. Welcome back to the bench, and welcome back to part 1.5 of Tactical Cheap Shit. This time, we're going to do a quick review on the Lixada weapons light that I purchased. Sorry about the quality of the opening shots. I did have my GoPro going while I was at the range, but unfortunately, I lost the footage somewhere. I'm not sure where it went. The red flashlight was going. No save video. So you're just going to have to take my word for the fact that I put about 150 rounds through this thing in about 15 minutes. And we got some results for the Tactical Cheap Shit flashlight. Here we go. So let's get this thing off of here. You can see it's kind of a tight fit now. It still pinches when you pull it off, and you can hear it's a little rattly. This thing functioned throughout the entire test. It functioned really well, actually. I was impressed. I checked the switch now and then as I was firing, and I kept the video on the whole time for the front to make sure that this light never fluctuated, and it didn't. It stayed on the whole time. However, as I said, you can hear a little bit of jiggling down here. And the problem is, this cover for the switch here, it got loose and started to fall out. I don't know if it's cracked or if it's these screws down here. So we're going to do a little bit of working while we're talking about this thing, see if I can fix this. Right now, this thing does not get a pass with this thing falling out. However, if I can get this thing fixed and get these screws Loctited in, for 20 bucks, I'm still going to give this thing a go. So let's start pulling it apart and talking about it. We'll see where we go from there. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull the battery out. Go ahead and grab some tools from the horrible freight. It's spinning it, but I don't think that's actually... Okay, so we got one out. I'm going to go ahead and pull these out because I am going to Loctite these back in, but I want to pull them out to kind of see what we're looking at underneath this cover. Make sure that we're not really missing anything. So here's the switch. Simple bar, and it's just actuating a simple switch here. Looks like there's two bushings in here. And it looks like we may have lost one. Those are just to give the switch a little bit of stability. We may not have lost one, actually. That may be the only one in there, because it feels now like it did when I originally got this thing. It's just this little nylon cylinder here is supposed to be sitting this way, putting pressure against the switch. Instead, it had rotated and was pointing straight up. So now I've got that down. I think I can put this cover back on nice and flat, and I can. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and toss some Loctite on these screws, get them back in there, and see if we can get them tight enough to get this thing back to A1 form. I'm just going to put a little mat down to keep the Loctite from getting on the bench. Put a dab on there, put a dab on there, let it sit and cure for a minute, and then we'll get them in the hole. Alright, let's get them back in the hole, see if we can get it tightened up. So far so good. Get the second one in here. Get both of those nice and tight. So those aren't coming back out. Let's put her back together and make sure everything works. And it does. Fantastic. So, with a little 5-minute work job there, we fixed what our problem was with our cheap-ass tactical light, and now that those have Loctite, they're not going anywhere. So I'm going to say, for 20 bucks, this thing ain't bad. Now be careful, because there's some weapons that it's not going to fit on. So see if you can do some looking around to make sure that it's going to fit your weapon. As we saw with mine, it does fit the Phantom, but it does not fit my P07. Just for craps and kicks. Let's see if it fits on the Witness. Oh yeah. Now there is a cheap-ass tactical setup if I ever did see one. This EAA Witness comes in at like 250 bucks. Plus a $20 flashlight. That's a whole setup still for under 300 bucks. Not bad if you're really watching that budget. But alas, I think I'm going to keep this on the Phantom, as I just trust the Phantom more. It seems to fit a little bit better. So that's it for part 2, the review of the Lixada weapons light. Overall, for 20 bucks, this thing is damn good. I would go ahead and pull those two screws out and Loctite them and put them back in before you take it out, just so you don't have the problem that I did. But this thing did go through 150 rounds in quick succession, and that is the only problem that it had. It still stayed on the whole time, the switch functioned, everything worked. It didn't come loose from the firearm. I only noticed it when I moved the firearm around and I could hear it rattling a little bit. So if this isn't a gun that you're training with, if this is just a backup gun that you've got to toss a flashlight on, I say this thing is well worth 20 bucks to go ahead and make sure that every one of your guns has a working light on it. So that's it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like and subscribe down below. Keep an eye out for more tactical cheap shit, as well as other reviews. And if you've got anything that you'd like me to talk about, go ahead and comment down below, letting me know what to keep an eye out for. And until next time, guys, remember, do your research, get informed, and get to work.